hello there, how do you do, sir? My name is Nate Jackson, the Eclipser. It rhymed enough. I'm trying these intros. Criterion 8 can do it, so can the Eclipser. There. Anyway, feeling very musical and singing-like because we have a musical romp by Ernest Lubitsch, Eclipse Series number 8, Lubitsch Musicals. Starting with the first, The Love Parade, from 1929, 109 minutes, black and white, binaural, 1.21 to 1 aspect ratio. The debut of Jeanette MacDonald as Queen Louise, stars Maurice Chevalier, who, honestly, I've never been a fan of Chevalier. And he's in at least, I think he's in 3 of these movies, so not necessarily looking forward to his work. I've never been crazy about him. So there's that. But at the same time, I think the movie was not bad. It was apparently one of the first. It was Lubitsch's first talking film, and apparently one of the very first musicals, if not the first musical ever. The first one to or at least the first one to integrate a steady plot line with songs and all that. that helped narrate the movie along. And that's basically all I have to say. The plot just basically involves Chevalier plays this count for the city of Sylvania, and he's been going around having all these affairs with women, and he's ordered back to his country, and the queen there, demands to see him, and they end up falling in love, and he ends up becoming her husband, but he doesn't get immediate, he doesn't become the king though. She refuses to, announce him like that. And so there's a lot of, strife between them. He doesn't really want to be with her, but, ends up she blah, 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 blah. You kind of get how musicals work, and it's like, oh, they all, if a man stands his ground, then a woman will break down and all that. You know how those old early pre-code movies worked, stuff that you couldn't get away with nowadays, but whatever. But yeah, I'm not a big fan of Chevalier, as I mentioned before, and Jeanette MacDonald's voice leaves a lot to be desired. But Lupino Lane, who plays the Count's assistant or butler, Jacques, and Lulu, played by Lillian Roth, who is the Queen's maid, they fall in love and they have a couple numbers together, and they're very funny. They steal the movie. I think Lane's slapstick is amazing. So it's worth it alone for that. Outside of that, I have nothing else to say. It's an interesting musical. It's not overbearing with the music. I think it's about maybe 50-50, even maybe 60-40, like 40% music, 60% dialogue. So I think the humor is not bad. Very, very pre-code. A lot of humor that you couldn't get away with, back then. Or you couldn't get away with, that was really, really very dicey, if you will. And so you have a lot of that in the movie. Outside of that, yeah, it's a pretty interesting film. I thought, can't think of any interesting dialogues. There's a scene where they talk about, somebody's talking to the Count, Count Alfred, and he says, "Oh, how'd you get your accent?" And he says, "Oh, I went to see a doctor." And who opened the door? The doctor's wife. And then from that point on, we see the rest of the dialogue, all the sexy stuff from outside, where he's just whispering it into his ear, and he says, "Oh, from that point on, I had an accent." And so it's like, oh dear, that kind of humor. Anyway, Love Parade, not a bad movie. Not the greatest movie ever. I give it an A-. I give it an A-. I thought it was, again, Lane and Roth stole the movie for me personally. If I had to get this, I'd be getting it for their performances only, basically. So anyway, that's all I have for now. I've got some extra time. I realize, we've been kind of leaving you, me and Criterion 8 have been leaving you in the lurch on this channel, so I'm going to go and do the next one, which will be Monte Carlo. We'll have that one up later tonight. And then we'll have The Smiling Lieutenant tomorrow. And then 1 hour with you on Tuesday. Although we may I may find time to do 2 because they're short musicals. Monte Carlo is only 90 minutes, The Smiling Lieutenant's 89 minutes, and 1 Hour with You is 78 minutes. So I may find time to do 2 tomorrow. Not sure right now. Depends on what my schedule is. But we shall see. But we'll definitely have another one later tonight. So anyway, that's it for me. And we'll see you all a little bit later for Monte Carlo. And until then, goodbye.